In the dim glow of the rooftop bar, where the city skyline glittered like a promise unkept, Elena Vargas nursed a glass of cheap red wine she'd smuggled in her purse. At 28, she was a graphic designer scraping by in a one-bedroom apartment that smelled faintly of takeout and regret. Tonight's launch party for her best friend's art exhibit was supposed to be a celebration, a rare night out among the creatively affluent. But as she scanned the crowd of influencers in silk blouses and men with sleeve tattoos that screamed trust fund, Elena felt like an imposter in her thrift store black dress. She was about to slip out the emergency exit when her stomach twisted. There, weaving through the throng with that same predatory grin, was Marco Ruiz, her ex-fiancé, the one who'd promised forever while secretly draining their joint account for his side hustle that turned out to be coke-fueled poker nights. He'd left her with maxed-out credit cards and a voicemail saying she was too vanilla for his ambitious life. Now, 2 years later, here he was, arm in arm with a lithe blonde who looked like she'd stepped out of a perfume ad, her laughter tinkling like wind chimes over the jazz quartet. Elena's pulse hammered. She couldn't let him see her like this, solo, sipping contraband, pretending she belonged. Her eyes darted wildly, landing on a man at the edge of the rooftop, leaning against the railing with a scotch in hand. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with tousled chestnut hair and a jawline that could cut glass. Mid-30s maybe, in a charcoal suit that fit like it was tailored by gods. He stared out at the lights, detached, like the party was a board meeting he'd rather reschedule. Desperation overrode sense. Elena crossed the rooftop in 5 determined strides, her heels clicking like gunfire. "Excuse me?" she hissed, close enough that he could smell her lavender shampoo. "I need a huge favor, like life or death. Pretend you're my boyfriend, just for a minute. My ex is heading this way, and if he sees me alone, it'll be a bloodbath." The man turned, his hazel eyes narrowing in mild amusement. Up close, he had faint laugh lines that softened the intensity of his gaze. "Boyfriend," he echoed, voice low and smooth, laced with a faint accent. "Spanish?"
"Italian, it didn't matter."
"What's the pitch?" "Act like you've been obsessed with me since the day we met," she blurted, glancing over her shoulder. Marco was closing in, his eyes locking on her like a heat-seeking missile. "Hold my hand, glare at him, whatever. Please, I'll owe you forever." A beat of silence. Then something flickered in his expression, curiosity maybe, or the thrill of the absurd. Without a word, he set his glass down, laced his fingers through hers and tugged her against his side. His touch was warm, steady like an anchor in a storm. Elena's breath caught as Marco arrived, his smile faltering into a smirk. Elena. Holy shit, it's been forever. Marco's eyes flicked to their joined hands, then up to the stranger. "Didn't peg you for the rooftop scene." "Marco," Elena managed, her voice steadier than she felt. She squeezed the man's hand, a silent plea. The stranger, her impromptu knight, angled his body protectively in front of her, extending his free hand with effortless confidence. "Luca Moretti," he said, his grip firm as he shook Marco's. "Elena's boyfriend. And you must be the ex she mentioned. The one with the impeccable timing." Marco's jaw tightened, his gaze raking over Luca like he was appraising a rival racehorse. "Boyfriend, huh? How long's that been going on?" Luca's thumb traced lazy circles on the back of Elena's hand, a gesture so intimate it sent sparks up her arm. 6 months, he replied smoothly before she could stammer an answer. "Feels like a lifetime, though." Elena's got this way of making time bend around her, turns ordinary nights into something unforgettable. He turned to her then, his eyes locking on hers with an intensity that made her knees weak. It was fake, she reminded herself. All of it, but damn, he was good. "Right, amore. Remember that weekend in Positano? You sketching the cliffs at dawn while I burned the pancakes." Elena's mind blanked for a split second. Then she nodded, playing along. "How could I forget? You owe me a rematch on those crepes." Marco shifted uncomfortably, his arm tightening around the blonde who looked bored and checked her phone. "Sounds cozy. Elena, you always did have a soft spot for artists. This guy's got that vibe." Luca chuckled low and dangerous. "Artist? Nah, I'm in tech." "But Elena's the real talent here. Her designs? They're revolutionizing branding for half the startups in the valley. She's the one who keeps me grounded, Reminds me there's more to life than code and deadlines. His words hung in the air, slicing through Marco's bravado like a well-aimed dart. Elena blinked, surprised at how naturally the praise flowed, how it landed like truth in her chest. Marco cleared his throat. Well, congrats, I guess. We should grab coffee sometime, catch up. Luca's smile didn't reach his eyes. Appreciate the offer, but our calendar's packed. Elena's got a gallery showing next month. Hers, not the borrowed kind. Rain check? It was polite venom, and Marco swallowed it whole, muttering a goodbye before slinking away with his date. The second they were out of earshot, Elena sagged against the railing, exhaling a laugh that bordered on hysteria. Oh my God, thank you. Seriously, that was Oscar-worthy. I think he bought every word. Luca released her hand slowly, but didn't step back. He looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. Mission accomplished. He picked up his scotch, taking a sip. So Positano? I improvised. Hope I didn't overplay my hand. She grinned, the adrenaline fading into something warmer. It was perfect. Crepes, though? Bold choice. I'm gluten-free. Noted for next time. His eyes sparkled with mischief. Next time? Heat crept up her neck. I mean, you don't have to, Elena, right? He leaned in, voice dropping. You ambushed me with the whole obsessed boyfriend routine, but you pulled it off like a pro. What's the real story with that guy? She hesitated, then shrugged. The rooftop felt quieter now, the party's hum a distant buzz. Marco was everything I thought I wanted. Charming, connected, proposed after a year, but it was all smoke. Left me broke and doubting myself. Tonight was supposed to be my big I'm fine without you moment, but seeing him, it undid me. Luca nodded, no pity in his gaze, just understanding. Sounds like he peaked early. You're better off. He paused, glancing at her empty wine glass. Want a real drink? My treat. Consider it hazard pay for the improv. Against her better judgment, Elena said yes. They found a corner booth overlooking the city, and Luca flagged down a server for 2 glasses of Malbec, proper ones this time. Conversation flowed easier than the wine. He asked about her designs, genuinely curious about the freelance gigs that kept her up till 3 a.m., perfecting logos for eco-brands and indie bands. She learned he was from Milan, transplanted to the States a decade ago for a startup that had exploded into a cybersecurity firm. It's all firewalls and encryption, he said with a wry smile. Saves the world from hackers, one algorithm at a time. Boring as hell at parties. Not boring, she countered, emboldened by the alcohol. Sounds like you're the guy who keeps secrets safe. That's hot in a nerdy way. He laughed, a rich sound that made her stomach flip. Flattery from a designer? Dangerous. But his gaze lingered, and when their knees brushed under the table, neither pulled away. By midnight, the party had thinned, but they lingered, trading stories under the string lights. Elena confessed her dream of launching her own studio, how Marco had dismissed it as cute, but impractical. Luca listened, then shared how his first venture tanked, leaving him couch surfing in Brooklyn. Failure's the best teacher, he said. Builds character, and apparently biceps, she snorted, then realized how late it was. I should go. This was unexpectedly amazing. Thank you again, Luca Moretti. Hero of awkward ex-encounters. He walked her to the elevator, his hand brushing her lower back. Anytime. Or, not just for emergencies. Coffee tomorrow? No pretenses. Just sketching and crepes, gluten-free. Elena's heart stuttered. It was a bad idea. He was polished, worldly. She was ink-stained and perpetual late. But his smile was real, unguarded. Deal. The next morning, over oat milk lattes at a hole-in-the-wall cafe, Elena sketched idle doodles on a napkin while Luca demolished a fruit plate. No gala glamour, just sunlight slanting through the window and easy banter. He showed her his latest app prototype on his phone, a sleek tool for remote creatives to collaborate securely. Think it'd help with your studio idea? He asked. She traced the interface with her finger, ideas sparking. It's genius. Makes me want to mock up a branding package for it. Do it, he said, eyes lighting up. On me. Consider it payment for last night. From there, it snowballed. Luca became her sounding board, beta testing her designs over late-night video calls when Milan time zones clashed. She dragged him to dive bars where local musicians played. teaching him to two-step badly to country covers. He flew her to a tech conference in Austin, where she networked while he pitched deals. And they ended up stargazing on a hotel balcony, his arm around her as she pointed out constellations she'd Googled that afternoon. It was effortless. This thing between them. No grand gestures, just stolen moments that felt monumental. Until the third month, when Elena's friend Sophia cornered her at brunch. Girl spill. Who's the mystery guy blowing up your phone? And why does he look like he stepped out of a Forbes spread? Elena's fork paused midair. What do you mean? Sophia